first of all, I want to tell you a little bit about the project that I'm doing, which is the Veterinary Tech program. And at Windward, we have started a Veterinary Tech program. We're developing an AS degree. And I don't know if you know this or not, but when you bring your pet to the veterinarian now, we're one of 5 states that do not have certified vet techs. And so you're not getting the best care in the world for your animals. So we're really excited about this program. I was asked to do the office skills part of the program, and so that's what I'm developing this project around. The objective that I have for this project is to create a professional document or an office package using Microsoft Office that lists and describe veterinary office delivery of services, steps, and division of tasks in an ethical, compassionate manner. Because veterinary technicians have a code of ethics just like doctors do, so we have to do it in a professional manner. Business 191 Veterinary Office and Computer Skills is designed to give students the support skills needed in a veterinary office. And the things that they do would promote the office, and it would be a positive or a negative situation. And as we know, there are a lot of veterinary programs around, and so it's a competitive marketing deal. But they have to work on client communication, public relations, ethical and legal procedures, telephone skills, and computer skills, which is the part that I was working on. All of the above, I believe, are real-world skills. And that's one of the things that I saw as an ICS teacher as well. I teach ICS. I don't see the students going and say, oh, I'm going to do a job with this. But in the veterinary class, they knew they were going to go out and they were going to work in an office. And so it was a real-world situation for them. My online course also matched the SLOs that were in my outline, which is something we all have to deal with. The first thing, they had to follow the veterinary technician's code of ethics, and they had to demonstrate introductory skills for word processing and spreadsheets as well. And so my introduction, of course, is who doesn't want to deal with a fuzzy little animal, because everybody loves animals, right? So that was my introduction. Okay, the authentic task that I had, I've actually taught this course 4 times before. And this semester, what I did, not this semester, but the previous semester, since I was in the course, I said, you know what, I'm going to try and do an authentic project, even though I haven't completed the course. And so in the past, I would do a project booklet, and students would have to do 10 projects, and they would do the projects, etc. But this semester, what I did is we went to the Oahu Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and the students were motivated because they saw all the animals in the cages. They could touch them, they could read about the past of the animals and what had happened with them. And they saw the numerous needs of the group. So what we did is we decided to do a final project around the organization. And so I think this gave the project a final, authentic method of working on this project. And so the problem for the class was to develop an office package using at least 2 of the Microsoft Office tools that they worked on during the year. And I'm going to show you some of the projects they did, even though this was before the class ended. Modeling of processes. How did I do this? Well, first of all, I could help them a little bit. I could help them with the computer skills, but I could not really give them the skills out in the real world. And so by going to the Oahu Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals clinic, they were able to see what was needed for that clinic. They needed web materials, they needed trifold folders for publication, they needed materials for explaining their purpose to the public, they wanted calendars, they wanted databases that just spread the word of what these organizations needed. And so that was one of the things that would give them activities to do. I tried to provide multiple roles by a group effort. I let them brainstorm in class so that they could help see what other people wanted to do for the organization. I got this idea, I think, from someone else, where I had a goodie bag of activities, and the students would draw from the goodie bag, and they'd say, well, this is a good idea, or it's not a good idea. I gave the students an opportunity to collaborate because we divided into groups and they chose the best items that they wanted to create for a shelter, and we weeded out the bad activities as well. As far as being able to reflect on the activities, students were asked to evaluate each other, okay, in the ideas and projects that they wanted to do. They verbalized their knowledge and thinking by presenting their idea in a PowerPoint. I asked each of them to do a PowerPoint to the class, and they had to give the mission statement and philosophy of a shelter. Some tasks that were integrated with assessment is the project they had to do was in a form of an office document, a word processing spreadsheet, database, etc. And the document had to have a theme and it had to have a purpose. The grammar, the introduction, the body, the closing, and everything was looked at. They had to have good spelling, etc., and complete sentences, etc. And also had to have some form of research, which they got from visiting the shelters. And then the polished product was they had a checklist, which was the PowerPoint explaining what they did. So they had group work, they evaluated each other in that manner. And so the students also had to rely on outside personnel to find the needs. They went to the director, Abigail Bingham, of the OSPCA, and they talked with her and they talked with the people in the clinic and said what were the needs and so forth. And so I really had, when I did this activity, it was, of course, jumping the gun, and I didn't do it well because I know I didn't evaluate, I didn't have the skill to be able to say how I was going to evaluate it, but I got those skills from this course. But I would like to share some of the things that the students did because I think it was so good to me. I did not expect anything this good. But these were just some of the things that they did. It was right around Christmas, and so they would do things like a pet corner, have your pet picture taken with Santa Claus. Let's see. They talked about what you could do in volunteer application. Oops. This was one of the little pamphlets that they created. And again, I would never have even thought about doing this without this course, I don't think. They want to do little crossword puzzles for the animals. This was, one of the ladies was a military wife, and lots of people bring animals over here, and they don't know what you need to do when you bring an animal from the mainland to Hawaii. They did Christmas newsletters. And then I want to go down here to one of the ladies did a YouTube. I had no idea whatsoever that she was going to do a YouTube. And I have my time. Okay, so all in all, it was an exciting adventure for me, and I was very excited because I would have never done this. I would have done my 10 projects in a booklet and so forth, but by giving the real-world examples like I did for students, I think they loved it, and they did something I would have never, in my whole life, I would have never, ever thought that it would have been this good. So I enjoyed it.